Welcome to the Northern Light Webcasting Network. We bring you Western Wisconsin sports via the internet. Stick around and get to know us.
Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to Colfax High School, where tonight the Vikings, coming off a defensive-dominated 35-20 victory over the Hayward Hurricanes, will take on the 3-4 Mondovi Buffaloes. Rick Olson here, and soon I'll be joined by Dan Petchow as we're getting ready to bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's Dunn-St. Croix Conference game right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Mondovi Buffaloes and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Doucette's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready to listen to some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Rick Olson here back at Colfax High School, where Dan Petchow and I are getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game between the Mondovi Buffaloes, with a record of 3 wins and 4 losses, 2-1 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference, and the 6-1 Colfax Vikings. The Vikings have a 3-0 record in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference and are trying to stay right on top of the conference. On Monday, the Vikings defeated the Hayward Hurricanes by a score of 35-20 in that game, coming off a game against Glenwood City where Vikings senior forward Camry Meredith reached a major milestone by scoring her 1,000th point of her high school career. She led the team in scoring against the Hurricanes with 10 points. In addition to Meredith, other leading scorers were senior center Rachel Charlo, who tallied 8 points, and Josie Steinke added 5. At 7 games into the season, the leading scorers for the Vikings are Meredith, who's averaging 16.9 points per game, Charlo, who's averaging 12.3, and Taylor Irwin, who's contributing 7.1 points per game. Addison Olson and Madison Barstead each contribute 3.7 points per game. Mondovi comes into tonight's game with an overall record of 3 wins and 4 losses, 2-1 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference, following their 52-45 loss to the Fall Creek Crickets last Tuesday. Leading the way for the Buffaloes in that game was 5'6" senior guard Ella Paschal, who scored 16 points. She was followed in scoring by 5'6" sophomore guard Morgan Clark, who added 12 points. The Buffaloes started their 2019-2020 campaign with losses to the Chippewa Falls McDonald Max and Independence. Since then, Mondovi has scored victories over Somerset, Spring Valley, and Boyceville, while losing to Durand and then Tuesday's loss to Fall Creek. The Vikings are looking to continue their domination of the Dunn-St. Croix Conference and extend their conference lead record to 4-0. On the other hand, the Buffaloes would like to pull even with the Vikings in the conference standings, and a victory for them tonight would do just that. So the stage is set for some exciting high school girls basketball, and we'll have it all for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. But first, this time out, and then we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Joe Doucette on Coach's Corner. You're listening to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Did you know that some vaccines prevent cancer? I'm Dr. Bill Schaffner of the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases, and I want to talk to you about a vaccine that protects against the most common cause of liver cancer, the hepatitis B vaccine. Hepatitis B virus can stay silent in the body for decades before symptoms develop. Many adults need vaccination, including those up to age 59 with diabetes. To learn more, visit adultvaccination.org. That's adultvaccination.org.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with Viking girls head coach Joe Doucette. And coach, tonight the Vikings are getting ready to take on the 3-4 Mondovi Buffaloes. But first I have to admit that I've been hearing a lot of Packers talk about winning ugly. But last Monday up in Hayward, the Viking girls gave a pretty good demonstration of what that term means when they defeated the Hurricanes 35-20. Actually, to this layperson's perspective, the Vikings played a pretty stifling defense, only giving up 5 points in the first half. But on the other hand, they just couldn't seem to get any shots to fall. Your comments on that game?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think that, we got off to a great start. I thought Rick and played both ends. And then, Hayward, a very well coached, very patient team. And I think it just seemed like we would hurry. They'd make 10 or 12 passes, and we'd go down and try to score quick. So we had a couple jouts that, but, that's sometimes the way it is, and we feel like if we defend and rebound, we can hang in there, and I thought we did a pretty good job of that.
And actually, as long as the tally mark goes on the left-hand side under the W's, that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure, and Hayward's one of the best programs in the northern part of the state and the whole state, and it might not be one of their better teams, but they're super well coached, and they always defend, they're always physical, so we're not jumping up and down excited about the way we look, but hey, it's a win at this time.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, tonight's opponent, the Buffaloes, come into this game with a 3-4 record, and they've had kind of an up-and-down season thus far. They've got wins over Somerset, Spring Valley, and Boyceville, and they lost to Chippewa Falls McDonald, Independence, Durand, and Fall Creek. What can you tell us about the Buffaloes, and what special challenges do they present?
They get after you. They're small and they're quick, and they play. They make you make or miss, work the ball up the floor. So, teams that maybe handle their pressure and get the ball inside on them, hurt them, and teams that don't or lose their poise. And they got some good kids. This Paschal kid, her sister was one of the best around a couple years ago, and she could put the ball in the basket. And they're deep, and if they have weaknesses, they're not very big, and they get after you. So we'll have to handle the pressure.
Now, are there any updates on the injury or illness front for tonight's game?
Yeah, I think, Morgan we're getting a handle on that, on her, and I think she's getting closer and closer to full strength all the time. So, from there, just little nicks and stuff, and we need Morgan's leadership and her ability. She always plays hard, always great teammates, so we're excited to get her back full time here pretty soon.
Now, Coach Doucette, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings will find a way to bump their Dunn St. Croix Conference leading record up to 4-0.
Thanks, Rick.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You've been listening to Viking Pregame, with a look at today's Colfax Viking girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
Hi, I'm Amanda Pete. Like all new parents, my husband and I want what's best for our baby. When it was time for our daughter's immunizations, we wanted the facts. So we carefully researched vaccines. We spoke with doctors and other experts and asked some tough questions. We decided that vaccines were the best thing for our child. I urge you to get the facts. Learn the facts about vaccines so you can make the best healthcare decisions for your family. Thank you.
A message from the American Academy of Pediatrics and VaccinateYourBaby.org. Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, proudly presents today's Girls Colfax Viking game. Join us as the 2019-2020 Vikings strive for success in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. And now back out for coverage of today's Girls Colfax Vikings game.
And welcome back here to Colfax High School. We are just about to have the national anthem performed. And it's the Colfax High School Choir going to sing it for us tonight.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red bells bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And we're back here at Colfax High School, and that was the Colfax High School Choir doing the national anthem for us, and they did a very fine job. Rick Olson here along with Dan Petchow, and we're going to send it down to the scores table one more time for the starting lineups. And
your Colfax Vikings. Introducing the starters for the Lady Buffaloes. Number 10, sophomore. Number 14, sophomore, Josie Holtby. Number 20, junior, Ella Baseball. Number 40, senior,
I got a box. Don't let me go home with it. I got a box. Don't go home without it. Okay.
And now, starting on for your Colfax Vikings.
And there we have the starting lineups. Pretty noisy version for the Vikings. We'll go through those for you again real quickly. Morgan Schleisner, Jana Bovey, Camry Meredith, Josie Steinke, and Rachel Charlo, the usual 5 starters. And it's good to see Morgan Schleisner back in that lineup again. She did not play on Monday. She did play last week after missing a game. She played a game. She missed Monday, but she's back again tonight. And as Coach Doucette said in Coach's Corner, they seem to be getting a handle on things. We're ready to jump this one up. We have Feedy jumping for Mondovi, Rachel jumping for the Vikings. Rachel's head and shoulders taller, tips it to Schleisner, who takes it down on the right side. Feeds it out to Steinke, underneath Meredith to Charlo, out by the free throw line, drives the lane, tries to get it underneath to Meredith, and she can't find it, and Mondovi comes back down the floor with it. Hulke with it. Out high to Clark. She gets it over to Berg on the left side. Berg back out to Clark. Over to Hulke. Hulke over to Feedy, wide on the right side. Out high to Clark. Gets it to Paschal. Almost loses control. Then does lose control. And picked up by Schleissner. And we have a foul called against Mondovi. The foul is on Morgan Clark. That's her first personal. First team foul on Mondovi. And Schleissner to bring it down the floor for the Vikings. Crosses the timeline, takes it over on the left side, gets it to Steinke. Out high to Charlo. Charlo over to Bovey. Three-pointer goes up, no good. And rebound taken down by the Buffaloes. Paschal brings it down. Now feeds it off to Clark, takes it across the timeline. Over on the near side to Berg. Out high to Feedy. Gets it down underneath, and the shot goes up by Berg, and it's no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Charlo with the rebound. Gets it to Schleissner, takes it down the right side. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Cross-court pass over to Bovey. Down low to Charlo. Back out high to Bovey on the left. To Steinke. High, wide, and left. Cross-court pass to Schleissner on the right. Feeds it underneath to Meredith. Puts it up. No good. Rebound, fought for, taken away by the Buffaloes as they come down the floor. Clark brings it across the timeline. Feeds it into the lane. Shot goes up, no good. That shot was by Hulke. Next shot goes up by Feedy, and as she hit it. So Mondovi draws first blood, 2-0. Long pass, and it's almost intercepted. I feel like I'm calling a game on Sundays now. Clark got her hands on it, goes out of bounds, and the Vikings have it in the forecourt. Jana Bovey to inbound it for the Vikings. Gets it to Schleissner back in the backcourt. She brings it across the timeline, over to the left side to Meredith. Gets it down underneath to Charlo. Charlo loses the handle. Picked up by the Buffaloes. Paschal brings it down for Mondovi through the center circle. Feeds it over on the left side, or on the right side to Feedy. Back out high to Paschal from three. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down by Meredith. Trying to keep it under control. She does. Tries to get a pass into Schleissner, but it's intercepted. Brought down the court by Clark. No shot, whistle, foul before the shot went up. And that foul is going to be on Jana Bovey.
That's her first.
And the first team foul. Buffalo's inbound it. Pass it into Berg, who was wide open underneath the basket, and puts it up and in. 4-0, Mondovi has the lead. Bovey bringing it down the floor. Gets it across the timeline. Then she gets into a trap. Right as soon as she crosses, gets it over to Meredith. On the left. Meredith drives over to the lane. Gets it to Bovey out wide left and puts up a shot. No good. Rebound taken away by Hulke. Hulke gets it over to Paschal. Paschal into Feedy. On the left side. Out to Paschal. Puts up a shot. No good. Rebound. Gets knocked out of bounds by Clark. And it's the Viking ball. And we have a wholesale substitution by the Vikings. Wilson is in. Addison Olsen's in. Addie Olsen is in. Taylor Irwin is in. And Marissa Harmon is the other one in. Wilson with a long shot, and it goes in.
Good ball movement by Colfax. Get Seville Wilson open.
And she hit the three from the left side near the baseline, just outside the arc. So the Buffaloes have it. Driving the lane is Paschal. Puts up a shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Irwin. Gets it over to Addison. Addison brings it down the floor. Across the timeline on the left. Hesitation dribble. Then gets it over to Irwin outside the three-point line. Puts it in. Irwin with the dead eye. 6-4, Vikings recapture the lead. Or capture the lead, I should say. Clark with a fast break. And Addison goes sliding into the wall. A little slow to get up, but she looks like she's going to be okay.
Good ball movement by number 42, Addison Olsen, to get the kick out to Seville Wilson for the 3 on that last one.
Okay, so Clark is at the line, shooting 2. First one's up off the front of the iron, no good. That foul, by the way, was on Seville Wilson. It was her first second team foul on the Vikings. We have some substitutions for Mondovi. Into the lineup is Emmy Everson and Abby Johnson. Second shot by Clark rolls around and off. And we have a whistle and a foul underneath on the rebound. It's going to be against Mondovi. And that foul is on Emmy Everson. Her first personal, second team foul on the Buffaloes. Mondovi's going to put on some full court pressure. Long pass down the court to Barstead to Taylor Irwin, and she lays it up and in. Vikings connected on the long pass. Coming down the floor is Mondovi. Gets it out high to Hulke. Hulke over to Abby Johnson, puts up a 3 and hits it. And Mondovi intercepts the inbound pass. Another 3-pointer on its way to Hulke, no good. And now the Vikings intercept the rebound. Mondovi got the rebound. Vikings intercepted the outlet pass and take it down the floor. Wilson has it near the top of the key. Over to the left side to Addy. Out high to Irwin. Irwin takes it down the right side to Addison. Over to Addy at the top of the key. To Barstead. To Wilson from 3. Off the iron. No good. Addison chases down the loose ball. Gets it out to Irwin. To Addy inside the arc. Puts it up. No good. And we have a rebound by Mondovi. Coming down the floor is Hulke. Gets it to Paschal. Or check that. That's Thompson. And the ball gets knocked away, and the Vikings have it. Coming down the floor is Wilson. Out to Addy. Out to Addison from 3 at the top of the key. Off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound tapped around. Addison gets it to Barstead. Over to Irwin. Irwin on the right. Free throw line extended. Out to Barstead. Takes it between the circles. Now drives into the lane. Ball gets knocked away from her, gets scrambled for on the floor, and they're going to call a travel on Addison. She got the ball and rolled over to pass it away, and that's a travel. So Mondovi will have the ball. They also have a substitution. Paschal goes out. I did not see who came in for her. Whoever it is, I'm sure we'll call the name shortly. Pass gets inbounded to Thompson. Thompson across the timeline. Feeds it to the near side to Hulke. Hulke back out to the top of the key to Everson. Over to Thompson. Back to Clark at the top of the key. Clark tries the right side. Can't get anywhere with it. Gets it back out to Thompson. Thompson back over to the free throw line. Now passes it out to Hulke. Hulke over to Clark on the right. Clark feeds it over to Everson at the top of the key. Back to Thompson on the right side. Down low to Everson. Everson drives to the lane. Puts it up. It rolls around and off. Irwin with the rebound. Gets it to Addy, and Addy brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Addy at the top of the key. Feeds it out to Barstead on the left. Puts up a shot. No good. Rebound. Addison puts it up and in. Addison Olsen with the putback.
Second chance efforts for Colfax to get the rebound and 2 points.
10-7 Vikings on top. 11:07 to go in the first half. Mondovi with the ball. Clark has it. Cross court pass over to Hulke. Hulke on the left side. Gets it down low to Johnson. Johnson feeds it into the lane, and the shot goes up and in by Hulke.
Good drive by Hulke to get the 2 points.
Addy brings it down the floor. Feeds it to Barstead. Back to Addy. Over to Irwin from the left. 3 is no good. Rebound tapped out by Wilson, and Irwin wasn't quite expecting it. It goes out of bounds. And we have some substitutions for both teams. 10:34 remaining in the first half. Vikings on top, 10-9. Mondovi with the ball in the backcourt. Thompson bringing it down the floor. Crosses the timeline, being guarded by Addie Olson. Pass over to Johnson. She can't quite control it. Picked up by Meredith. Gets it over to Irwin. Irwin puts a shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by Charlo. Charlo's putback is up and good. First 2 points for Rachel Charlo tonight. Mondovi brings it down the floor, and they travel. She tried to get a pass off, and Vikings had the hand on top of the ball, pushed her back down to the floor, and that's a travel. Addison is out, and I'm looking to see who came in. Now Marissa Harmon is in. Irwin brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Irwin feeds it over to Addie on the left side. Now back out between the circles. Into Barstead. To Charlo in the lane. Kicks it back out to Harmon. Harmon's shot is up, rolls around, and goes through. A three-pointer for Marissa Harmon. 15-9, Vikings on top. Thompson brings it down for Mondovi. Gets it over on the near side to Berg. Back out between the circles to Thompson. Out to the far side to Feedy. Feedy feeds it into the lane to Berg. Ball gets knocked loose. She gets back control. Tries to put a shot up, and the Vikings come down with it. Addie comes across the timeline, takes it down the left side, gets it back out high to Charlo, puts up a three. No. Rebound taken down by the Buffaloes. Thompson with it in the center circle. To Clark. Over to Berg. Berg between the circles and now passes it over to Clark. Clark tries to get a pass off, gets tipped by... Well, evidently she just lost control of it. I thought it was tipped by the Vikings, but the Vikings are going to get the ball, and we're also going to get a timeout on the floor. 8:41 to go, Vikings 15 and Mondovi 9. You're listening to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
As you check names off your holiday gift-giving list, Dairy State Bank encourages you to go local. When you support locally owned and operated businesses, every dollar you spend returns threefold to your local economy, putting your hard-earned money to work in the community you call home. So this holiday season, consider gifting locally crafted goods or an experience at a local eatery, craft beverage maker, or a performance with family and friends. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Mondovi just called a timeout. Vikings lead 15-9. 8:41 to go in the first half. Vikings have the ball in the backcourt. Irwin inbounds it to Schleisner. And Schleisner brings it through the center circle. Feeds it over to Meredith on the left side. Meredith drives down to the lane, kicks it out to Irwin. Three-pointer on the way, off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Mondovi. This is Clark with it, quickly down the floor. She feeds it to Hulke, puts up a three and hits it. 15-12. Vikings on top. Meredith through the center circle. Feeds it down to Harmon, who puts it up. Shot counts, and she gets fouled. So she's going to get that extra point, we hope. 17-12. Marissa Harmon at the line. Foul was on Abby Feedy. That's her first personal, third team foul. Harmon's shot is up and off the back of the iron, and rebound taken down by Mondovi. Paschal with it right through the center circle. Feeds it to Clark. Drives down the lane. Can't get anywhere. We have a travel being called on Clark. Meredith inbound the ball for the Vikings. Mondovi putting on full court pressure. Pass is knocked out of bounds by Clark. Inbound pass was intended for Schleisner. Meredith inbounded again as they have full court pressure. Schleisner with it. Gets it over to Irwin, across the timeline with it. Charlo has it on the right side. Feeds it into the lane to Meredith. Puts a shot up. No. Overlaid it. And the rebound taken down by Mondovi. Paschal quickly down the floor. This is Feedy driving to the lane. Kicks it out to Berg. Berg back into the lane. Puts it up. No good. Rebound. Taken down by Harmon. We have a whistle underneath. And the foul is going to be called on Josie Hulke of Mondovi. It's her first personal, 4th team foul.
Good job by Harmon to box out and get the turnover.
Schleisner has the ball. Gets it over to Bovey. Bovey back to Schleisner. They're still in the backcourt. She gets it across the timeline. At the top of the key, feeds it over to Meredith on the left side. Down underneath to Charlo. Charlo back out high to Bovey. Puts up a 3. Around and off, no good. Putback shot by Charlo is good. 19-12, Vikings on top. Just over 7 minutes to go in the first half. Mondovi quickly back down the floor. Paschal with it. Drives into the lane. Tries to put the shot up. It's partially blocked by Charlo. Charlo gets the ball off, and we have a foul being called. Foul's being called on Charlo. That's her first personal, 3rd team foul on the Vikings.
Guess it's an elbowing foul.
Yeah, I say she gave a shove trying to get that ball. Now we have another foul being called, and I think this was going against Bovey. That's her second personal, 4th team foul on the Vikings. So Mondovi to inbound it under their basket. High pass. Out high to Feedy. Feeds it over to Hulke. Hulke loses control. Schleisner picks it up, brings it down for the Vikings. Gets it to Meredith, drives into the lane, puts a shot up, and it goes in. Rattled around 3-4 times, but finally dropped through. First 2 points for Meredith tonight. 21-12, Vikings on top. Quickly back down the floor comes Paschal. She stops, tries to put the shot up, and we have a whistle and a travel being called by Paschal. Very good defense that time by Charlo. She got herself in position. Paschal had to stop before the charging foul, and then when she tried to go around her, it was an extra step, and the traveling was called. So Schleisner brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Long pass over to Meredith. Across the timeline. Feeds it over to Steinke. Steinke's long shot is up and in.
3 feet
with a long 3-pointer.
3 feet behind the arc on that one.
24-12, Vikings on top. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Berg has it on the left side, and pass intended for Clark. It's kicked out of bounds by Clark, and the Vikings will take over. Into the Buffalo lineup is Abby Johnson, replacing Berg. Meredith to inbound it, and pass intended for Schleisner gets knocked out of bounds by Clark. So they give it back to Meredith. She's got the long pass down the floor for Charlo, lays it up, and we have a whistle and a foul. Like Aaron Rodgers hitting the tight end.
Good job by number 44, Rachel Charlo, to create the contact and get the free throws.
Charlo's shot was overlaid, but she did draw the contact and gets the 2 from the line. The first one is off the front of the iron, no good. Second shot on its way, and it's in. Inbound pass. Taken by Thompson, gets it down to Paschal. Paschal's shot from about 10 is no good. Rebound taken down by the Buffaloes. Feedy with it, gets it out to Paschal. Paschal back over to Feedy on the left side. Back out high to Johnson. Johnson over to Clark on the right side. Back to Johnson between the circles. Feeds it down into the lane, and it's intercepted by Meredith for the Vikings. She brings it down the floor, into the lane, tries to get the pass over to Charlo. She this time rolled the pass off to Steinke to Bovey, back to Steinke, over to Meredith at the top of the key. Meredith drives into the lane, tries to go up with it, and loses control out of bounds. A lot of traffic down in there, but
yeah, good defense by Mondovi to create the turnover, keep Meredith out of the lane.
Mondovi has the ball, 4:54 to go. They get it inbounded to Clark, and she's still in the backcourt. Feeds it back. Clark has it now and feeds it to Thompson. Thompson drives into the lane, puts a shot up, no good. Rebound by Rachel Charlo. Charlo gets it to Schleissner. Schleissner across the timeline. Drives straight into the lane. Kicks it out to Irwin. Back to Charlo. Charlo puts it up, no good. Rebound, Charlo, and they get tied up, and we got a jump ball called. Possession arrow in favor of Mondovi.
Mondovi's done a good job to keep Colfax out of the paint and stop those second efforts.
Coming down the floor is Thompson for the Buffaloes. Feeds it off, and the shot goes in by Abby Johnson. 25-14, Vikings on top. Schleissner with it. Gets it across the timeline. Loses the handle on it, and we have a tie-up, and Vikings get the ball. Couple more people substitute in. Schleissner and Charlo out. Wilson and Addie Olsen are in. Inbound pass from Irwin to Addie. Addie has it between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side to Irwin. Irwin out to Meredith. Meredith with a three off the back of the iron. No good. Rebound taken down by Mondovi. Thompson with it. Through the circle. She feeds it over to Johnson on the left side. High, wide, and left. Gets her pocket picked, but Meredith can't control it after she does, and it goes out of bounds. Mondovi will have it. Inbounding is Feedy, and her inbound pass gets knocked out of bounds, and Mondovi will retain possession.
Mondovi's got to figure out how to get in the paint and get some points.
Johnson passes it into Thompson. Thompson tries to take it around to the right side. Ball gets knocked away, but she chases it down. They feed it into Hulke. Hulke, we have a whistle.
Do believe it's on Camry Meredith.
I think you are right. It is. It's her first 15 foul on the Vikings. Vikings lead 25-14 with 3:26 to go in the first half. Mondovi to inbound it. Thompson looking for somewhere to go with it. Feeds it into the lane to Clark. Puts a shot up. It rolls around and off. Meredith comes down with a rebound. Gets it to Addie. Addie quickly down across the timeline. Gets it to Irwin. Irwin from three puts it up. Off and in. It hit the back of the iron and bounced down through. 28-14. That's 8 points for Irwin so far tonight. Well, we have a whistle and a foul. And I think we have another foul on Meredith. It's her second personal. Quickly into the lineup is Addison for Camry Meredith. That's the sixth team foul on the Vikings. So after this, Mondovi will be shooting. Johnson to inbound the ball. Gets it to Feedy. Long pass up to Clark. Clark gets it over to Paschal on the left side. Cross court pass to Feedy. Feedy looking for somewhere to go with it. Feeds it down into the corner. Out to Paschal. Paschal drives the lane. Tries to go in with it. We have a whistle and a foul.
Blocking foul.
A blocking foul on Addison. And Paschal will be at the line shooting the bonus. First shot is up and good. Quick substitution for Mondovi. Now Paschal to get her second shot. It's up, and it's also good. Maddie Barstead to inbound the pass. Her pass intended for Addie. It's knocked out of bounds by Clark. Clark's done that quite a number of times already.
Yeah, Mondovi's defense has been really good here.
Maddie to inbound it again. She gets it into Seville Wilson. Wilson gets it to Addie. Addie down the floor. Kind of loses control, but we have a whistle and a foul being called on Clark.
More pressure in the backcourt for Mondovi.
That's the second personal on Clark. 6th team foul on Mondovi. Irwin to inbound it. And she gets it into Addie. Addie takes it across the timeline. Ball gets knocked away, but she picks it up, gets it over to Addison. On the right side, gets it to Wilson. Passes out to the top of the key to Barstead. Over to the left side to Irwin. Irwin tries to pass it out to Maddie. Gets tapped, but Addison feeds it out to Addie, who gets it over to Barstead. Barstead drives in and lays it up and in.
Good ball movement by Colfax to get Madison open.
And good ball awareness. They stayed with it. Mondovi has the ball between the circles. Paschal with it. Gets it over to Johnson on the left side. Free throw line extended to the left. Over to Thompson down in the left corner. Dribbles it back out high on the left side. Now drives towards the lane. Kicks it out to Hulke. And her shot is no good. We have a whistle. Out of bounds. Off of Mondovi. The Vikings have it. Addison has it. Feeds it over to Addie. Takes it across the timeline. Takes it down the length of the floor. We have a whistle down in the right corner. And I believe it's a foul on Mondovi. No, they're saying Addie threw an elbow as she was trying to drive down there. That's the 8th foul on the Vikings, and Mondovi has the ball. And they bring it down the floor. It's Thompson with it right through the center circle. Over on the far side to Everson. To Hulke. Out to Johnson. Over to Everson on the left. Everson drives towards the lane. Tries to get a pass over to Paschal, and it gets knocked out of bounds by Barstead. So Mondovi will retain possession, but she broke up the play.
Mondovi's trying to find a way to get the ball inside, and Colfax is playing pretty tough defense right now.
Charlo into the lineup. Wilson out. Mondovi inbounds the pass to Thompson. Thompson turnaround jumper in the lane is in. 30-18 Vikings on top. Irwin with it. Feeds it over to Barstead, still in the backcourt. Now they get it across the timeline to Charlo, back to Barstead between the circles. To Addie on the left side. She takes it around to the right side. Feeds it out high to Irwin. Irwin's three-pointer is in. Another 3 for Irwin. That's 11 points for her on the night. Coming up on 30 seconds to go in the first half. Feeds into the lane for Mondovi. Thompson with the shot is no good. Rebound taken, chased down by Addison. Feeds it out to Charlo. Charlo's pass intended for Barstead. And almost saved by Irwin. Barstead didn't realize it was coming. It was a little bit behind her. But Irwin tried to save it. Just got her foot on the line when she tried to knock it back in. 19.2 seconds to go in the first half. Mondovi with the ball. Thompson brings it down the floor. Thompson over to the far side to Evenson. Evenson to Johnson. Johnson cross-court pass to Paschal. Paschal shot is up, rolls around and goes off. Irwin with the rebound. Long shot. Nope. It's not going to happen. 33-18. The Vikings have the lead at halftime. And we will have some halftime programming, including the Viking profile and the Colfax High School report, all coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380. The Northern Light Webcasting Network has a special Christmas treat for our listeners. We are going to present our holiday special on Monday, December 23rd and Tuesday, December 24th. Starting at noon on each day, we'll present a triple header of Colfax Vikings games. We'll have football, girls basketball, and boys basketball with a lot of holiday music throughout. Tune your listening device to www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com to listen to our holiday special, beginning at noon on December 23rd and 24th, and have a very happy holiday season.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Addison Olson, a junior at Colfax High School, and we're going to be chatting with Addison right after this message.
We are the boy band. Your tween made you see. We are the boy band. It's Painful Concert number 3. We are the boy band. We're 5 and 19. We are the boy band. Always singing on key.
You love your kids enough to take them to see their favorite band. Love them enough to make sure they're buckled up in the back seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We're talking with Addison Olson on Viking Profile. And Addison, when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience have you had?
I started when I was in 4th grade, and it's been fun and crazy with all my friends.
So what's the most important thing you've learned from playing basketball?
You have to work as a team. You always have to come together when times are rough. Even like when you're losing, you gotta come together. And
so when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I like to ride horse a lot and take care of them.
Now, we got a few rapid fire questions for you. Just whatever comes into your head first. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cake.
What kind?
Chocolate.
Any kind of chocolate or just lots of chocolate?
Just lots of chocolate.
Okay, Ford, Chevy, or what other brand?
Chevy.
Any reason why?
Because they're cool looking.
And your favorite college team?
Probably Minnesota.
We're talking with Addison Olson on Viking Profile. Addison, what are your plans after high school?
To go to college and get like an equine scholarship or something.
Do you have any ideas where you might be going?
UW River Falls.
Now, when people come to Viking games, what number do you wear and what position do you play?
42 and shooting guard or point guard.
How about a shout out to your family?
Shout out to my dad for always being there for me, and my mom for driving me everywhere when I was little.
Okay, we want to thank Addison Olson for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Time for the Colfax High School Report with an update on what's happening at Colfax High School.
Last week at Colfax High School, the boys and girls varsity basketball teams had plenty of action. On Tuesday, December 10th, the Viking girls dominated the Plum City Elmwood Wolves 72-32. Then on Thursday, the Viking boys took on the Elk Mound Mounders, where they needed a comeback effort to defeat the Mounders 42-33. Finally, on Friday, the Viking girls continued their domination of the Dunn St. Croix Conference by trouncing the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 70-21. At the end of the week, that left the boys with a record of 2 wins and 1 loss and 1-0 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, and it left the girls with a record of 5 wins and 1 loss, 3-0 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Both teams are currently sitting in first place. On Thursday, December 12th, the Viking 8th grade boys defeated Glenwood City 46-36. Then on Friday, the 8th graders were defeated by Durand 35-17. The 8th grade boys finished their season with a record of 5 wins and 5 losses. The middle school girls will begin their school basketball practice on Thursday, January 2nd. The Bloomer Colfax wrestlers showed strength in the Husky Invitational at Eau Claire North last Saturday. The Bloomer Colfax's Sawyer Best won the tournament title at 132 pounds, earning pins of 4 of his 5 matches. Best then overpowered Prescott's Sam Murphy by a pin in exactly 1 minute to take the championship. Luke Blanchard gained a second-place finish for Colfax Bloomer at 113 pounds, using 3 pins as wins and then a 7-6 decision over Baldwin Woodville's Taylor Fink to advance to the championship match, where Spencer Columbus's Ashton Aikman defeated Blanchard in a major decision win. Bowen Rothbauer finished strong for Bloomer Colfax when he took 3rd place at 152 pounds. Rothbauer used pins to advance to the semifinals before Arrowhead's Noah Mulvaney scored a 5-0 decision win. Rothbauer then bounced back to earn a 7-0 decision win over Medford's Emmett Grunwald. The Bloomer Colfax wrestlers will compete in the annual Northern Badger Wrestling Tournament at UW River Falls on December 27th and 28th. Beginning on Saturday, December 21st, and continuing through Wednesday of January 1st, the Colfax schools will be on the annual holiday vacation. We at the Northern Light Webcasting Network would like to also wish everyone a very happy and safe holiday season. And that's what's been happening at Colfax High School. This has been Rick Olson reporting.
You've been listening to the Colfax High School Report with an update on what's happening at Colfax High School. The second half of Colfax Viking basketball is coming up.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Oh no.
If your car has had an oh no experience, whether it's from a deer, another vehicle, or any other cause, be sure to see the hardworking people at Morgan's Auto Body in Colfax. Mike Morgan and his staff are ready to get your car right again. The staff at Morgan's Auto Body are ASE and iCar certified technicians, and they can get your car looking like new. That's Morgan's Auto Body in Colfax. Call them at 715-962-3559.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, and Dan would normally give you those first half stats, but he's out trying to line up a special guest for us as we're getting ready to also start the second half of this game. But boy, oh boy, we do have a special guest lined up for you, and I'll tell you what, we're going to get to that special guest in just a moment, but we're going to take another brief timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
The Colfax Messenger has covered the happenings of Colfax and the surrounding area for over 120 years. No one cares for Colfax like the Messenger. Readers get the most current news, sports, and feature stories about the people and places of Colfax. Also, the Messenger is your one-stop source for all your printing needs. To subscribe to the Colfax Messenger or receive a free quote on your printing needs, call the Messenger at 715-265-4646 or visit them online at www.dewitmedia.com.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Second half has just started, but you haven't missed anything yet, and we have a real special guest for you. Why don't you give us your signature sound that we are so used to hearing, the
ho, ho, ho.
That's right. We have Santa Claus here. I saw him walk into the place, and we have a breakaway by Meredith who puts it up and in, so the Vikings go up 35-18, just underway in the second half. Santa, I thought this would be too busy a time of year for you to get over here, or do you just need to get your head away from it a little bit sometimes?
Oh, sometimes you just got to get away from it all.
Well,
it's not working today because this is my third stop already today. I've been to a basketball game up in Cameron earlier.
That's probably good training for the reindeer to make those quick stops and so on. And now I won't tell anybody, but where do you have them right now?
On the roof.
Oh, okay. We just won't tell anybody that.
No.
Rebound's being battled for underneath the Mondovi basket, and Mondovi comes away with it, but they still have not scored yet in the second half because we have a special guest here. Three-pointer on its way, no good. Rebound taken down by Meredith. Out of bounds, off of Meredith, and Mondovi's going to have the ball. But, yeah, we still have Santa with us. And, Santa, what are the kids asking for this year?
Phones.
A lot of phones?
iPhones.
Oh, that new iPhone 11. I'll bet that's something that they really want. And how are the quality of cookies that you get on the – have they been getting better as the years go by?
Yeah, I can't say that without
well, you don't want to diss the ones from years before.
Yeah.
And a layup taken in by Bovey, and we have a timeout on the floor. So we're going to stay right here, and we're going to talk with Santa for just a minute. Vikings ahead 37-18, 16:43 to go in the game. But so the cookies are still good.
The milk is good.
The milk is good. Have you finally installed a heater in the sleigh? It's got to get kind of cold sometimes.
Yeah, I put in a heated seat even now.
Oh, man, life of luxury.
Life for luxury.
Oh, boy, I tell you. And so who's keeping an eye on the workshop to get those last-minute toys done?
Well, you see Mrs. Claus with me?
Oh, sure.
I left her home for the night.
Hey, I'll bet she cracks a pretty stiff whip against those elves that get kind of lazy.
Yeah.
Well, Santa, I will let you get back to distributing the treats and stuff you have for the kids who are here tonight, and some of the kids aren't real young either, I've noticed.
No. But that's all right.
And we'll get back to some basketball action, but boy, oh boy, Santa, thanks for stopping by and getting the holiday season off to a good start for us.
Yes.
So we're really proud to have Santa come and visit us, and Dan's going to slide back in here. Thank you, Santa. As we have Mondovi at the line now. 37-18. Clark at the line for Mondovi, shooting two. First shot is up and in. The foul, by the way, was on Seville Wilson. It was her second personal, first team foul on the Vikings. Second shot by Clark is up and in. 37-20. Vikings on top by 17. 16:20 to go in this game. Pass to Meredith, long pass to Wilson down the floor. She lays it up and in. That's one way to beat the pressure Mondovi's been putting on the Vikings. They get it across the timeline to Feedy. Feedy over on the left side to Hulke. Hulke to Clark, drives into the lane, tries to put it up. Ball gets blocked, and Wilson comes away with it. Schleisner across the timeline quickly down the lane. She takes it, puts it up, and she got horse-collared on that one. Ball almost went in. It did not, but Morgan Schleisner, and you know, she's the shortest one on the team, but she's not afraid to mix it up in that land of the Giants. First shot is on the way and good. First point for Schleisner tonight. Second shot is up. Around and out. Rebound taken by Berg. Tries to get the pass over, and we have a foul, I believe, called on Meredith. That is probably her third. Yes, it is. Her third, second team foul. Inbounding it is, we're bringing it down the floor, is Clark. Tries to get a pass over to Johnson, goes out of bounds, and the Vikings will inbound it. Coming down the floor is Bovey. Tries to pass it into the lane. Ball gets knocked away, but picked up by Schleisner. At the free throw line, feeds it down to Meredith, who lays it up and in.
More good ball movement by Colfax to get another 2 points.
Clark loses it between her legs, and it gets picked up by the Vikings. Meredith feeds it over to Bovey. On the right side, now high, wide, and right. Out to Schleisner between the circles. Takes it over to the left side to Meredith. Meredith loses the handle on it. Boy, it's like that ball is a greased pig. Coming down the floor is Hulke for Mondovi. She's got it at the top of the key. Kicks it up to Paschal, puts up a long three and hits it. Ella Paschal with 5 points on the night. Bovey to bring it down the floor. Now she gets it to Meredith. Meredith takes it across the timeline. Over to Schleisner. On the right side, out to Meredith at the top of the key. Puts up a shot, no good, and it's out of bounds. Mondovi with it. Vikings on top, 42-23. 14:32 to go.
Colfax has kept the defensive pressure on and created some turnovers.
Sorry about that, folks. Got a little extra noise there. Mondovi to inbound.
Our technical staff had to take care of that, right?
Paschal has it, guarded closely by Addison. Gets it over to Johnson, back to Paschal. Paschal stops just short of the timeline, feeds it over to Clark across the timeline. Cross-court pass intended for Johnson, and it goes behind her and out of bounds. Both teams have some passing they need to clean up tonight. Barstead inbounds it to Addy. Addy brings it through the center circle. And she dragged her pivot foot as she tried to pass it over to Addison. And the ball goes over to Mondovi.
More pressure by Mondovi, creating turnovers.
Inbound pass, long pass into Clark. She gets it across the timeline. Barstead gets a hand on it, but Clark maintains possession. Gets it to Berg on the right side, back out to Clark. Clark at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Johnson on the left. To Thompson down in the left corner. Back out high to Johnson. Still on the left side. Feeds it into Berg driving the lane. Ball gets intercepted by the Vikings, and now we have a scrum on the floor, and we have a jump ball being called. Possession arrow is in favor of the Vikings. Barstead to inbound it. Inbound pass intended for Addy gets knocked out of bounds by Thompson.
Full court press by Mondovi right now.
Barstead to inbound it again. Pass over to Addy, and again, gets knocked out of bounds, this time by Clark. I think that's about 5 of those she's done. 4 or 5 of them. They're going to switch some things around on their inbound play. Barstead to inbound it again. She's looking for somewhere to go. Tries to get it in, but bounces it off.
Good defense by Mondovi right now to
Barstead bounced it off a Hulky, and that's how they maintain possession. Long pass down the floor intended for Addison. She gets it, lays it up and in! Long pass by Barstead to Addison, who picked it up and laid it into the hole. That's how you beat the pressure. Thompson with it. We have a whistle and a foul. Foul is on Irwin. It's her first personal, third team foul on the Vikings.
Good job by number 42 Addison Olsen to track that down and get 2 points.
Yeah, I thought for a minute there she got the handle on the ball too deep, but she was able to arch her back and lay it up and in. Clark with it. Over to Berg, cross the timeline to Paschal. Feeds it into the lane to Thompson. Thompson lays it up and off. Ball tipped around, and the Vikings come away with it. Addy with it, through the center circle, quickly. Tries to feed it down to Charlo. A few fingers got on it, and Mondovi got the ball, and we have a whistle and a foul. And I believe they got Addy with a foul. Yes. Foul is on Addy Olsen. It's her second personal. Fourth team foul on the Vikings. Berg inbound it. She gets it to Thompson. Thompson takes it herself right through the center circle. And the ball gets taken away by Barstead. Barstead down the floor at the center circle. Feeds it to Addy. Addy between the circles. Gets it to Barstead. To Irwin coming in from the left. And she gets called for a travel. She was trying to put a move on underneath and lost her footing a little bit.
Mondovi triple teamed her, and she had to try to get it out and moved her feet.
So Thompson has it for the Buffaloes. Brings it up to the timeline, passes it across to Clark. Clark at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Berg on the left. Free throw line extended left. Gets it over to Paschal from three. No. Clark with the rebound. Puts it back up. No. Irwin down with the rebound for the Vikings. Feeds it off to Addison. Addison quickly across the timeline. Takes it to the center. Towards the lane. Gives it to Barstead. Barstead lays it up and in. 46-23. Vikings doubling up the Buffaloes. 12:06 to go in the game. Pass intended for Berg, and it goes out of bounds. Vikings will have it. We have some substitutions for the Vikings, and we also have a timeout being called by the Mondovi Buffaloes. 12:04 to go in the game. Vikings on top, 46-23. You're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
What makes Hometown Pharmacy different than the big chains? People. When you walk into Hometown Pharmacy, you'll see friends and neighbors on both sides of the counter.
We come to Hometown Pharmacy because they are also very knowledgeable and helpful.
We may not be on every corner, but chances are we're in your hometown, or we'll be there shortly. And we care about you. Hometown Pharmacy, our family caring for your family.
Stop by Colfax Hometown Pharmacy in downtown Colfax.
And we're back at Colfax High School.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mondovi kind of slow it down a little bit. They're getting a little rushed right now and creating some or doing some turnovers, and no reason to push too hard yet.
By the same token, the Vikings are having the same problem.
Right, yeah.
Trying to force some passes where there's too many navy blue arms.
Yeah, it'd be all right for both teams. Just kind of slow it down a little bit and set it up and get some points.
You know, we didn't mention the Mondovi uniforms. They're sharp looking. It's just a very basic uniform, navy blue with white lettering. 3-point shot by Addy Olsen goes in, but it's real easy to read, thank goodness.
It is.
Addy Olsen with the three makes it 49-23. Vikings on top. Thompson takes it down to the lane, kicks it out to Berg on the left side. Berg tries to feed it underneath to Thompson, and Thompson double dribbles it down near the baseline, and it's going to go over to the Vikings. Barstead has it. Over to Meredith. Brings it down. Crosses the timeline. Over to Barstead on the left. To Addie. Addie takes it out between the circles. To Harmon. Harmon, three-pointer is no good. Rebound. Tapped out of the way by Barstead. Barstead over to Harmon on the right. To Meredith, back out to Harmon. To Barstead on the left. Barstead drives to the lane, turns around, gets it out to Charlo. Charlo to Meredith, and we have a foul called out at the top of the key as Meredith tried to drive the lane.
Do believe it's number 20.
Actually, it's number 10, Clark. Fouls on Clark, her third personal. Second team foul on Mondovi this half. Harmon inbounds it to Addie. Addie stops at the top of the key, over to Harmon on the left side, back out to Addie between the circles. Addie keeps her dribble going, gets it over to Barstead on the right. To Meredith. Meredith drives the right baseline, puts it up, it rolls around and off. Rebound taken down by the Mondovi Buffaloes. Thompson brings it down, right through the center circle. Over to Hulke. Hulke with a three-pointer up and no good. Rebound taken down by Meredith. She's got someone about to try to pick her pocket. Meredith drives the lane, lays it a little hard. Charlo with the putback. No, and we have a whistle and foul underneath. And Charlo's going to go to the line for two. And that foul again is on Clark. That's her fourth personal, third team foul. First shot is off the front of the iron, no good. Schleisner in for Addie. And Johnson is in for Clark for Mondovi. Charlo's second shot on its way and good. 50-23. The Vikings are on top, 10:27 to go. Thompson with it across the timeline. Feeds it down to Hulke on the right. Hulke tries to take it to the baseline and loses control of it. Well, they're saying it was off of Schleisner. She got a finger on it or something, and Mondovi has the ball out of bounds. Inbound pass to Paschal. To Thompson and between the circles. Over to Feedy, then down to Johnson, out to Paschal. They're all on the left side. To Johnson, to Thompson now on the left side of the lane. Turns around, puts it up, and it goes in. 50-25, Vikings by 25, 9:54 to go. Schleisner across the timeline. Gets it over to Barstead, to Harmon. Out to Meredith, to Schleisner on the right side. To Barstead, drives into the lane. Kicks it out to Charlo. Charlo puts up a two-pointer, and it's good. She was about 2 feet inside the arc that time. 52-25. Vikings on top. We have a whistle and a foul as Hulke was trying to bring it across the line, and the foul is on Schleisner. Her first personal. 5th team foul on the Vikings. Barstead comes out for the Vikings. Steinke goes back in. Thompson with it between the circles for Mondovi. Drives down the left side of the lane. Tries to put the shot up, and we have a whistle, but it's a travel call. She couldn't get rid of the ball.
Good defense by Colfax to create another turnover.
And the Vikings have it on the baseline. Pass goes into Schleisner. Schleisner on the dribble. Feeds it over to Steinke. Steinke across the time. I checked it. That's Harmon. Back out to Schleisner, top of the key. Over to Charlo. This is Steinke with it. Back out to Charlo. Charlo drives into the lane, puts it up. No, off the back of the iron. Rebound taken down by Hulke for Mondovi. Quickly across the timeline. Feeds it over onto the left side to Paschal. Loses it off her foot. But she does pick it up. Turns around, gets it over to Johnson. Johnson feeds it over to Feedy, and we have a whistle and a foul. I believe it's a foul on Harmon. Yes, fouls on Marissa Harmon. That's the 6th foul on the Vikings. That's Harmon's first personal. Thompson with it. Shot that time by Feedy is no good, and we have a whistle and a jump ball being called. I believe it was Charlo and I think Feedy came down with it together. So Mondovi inbounds it, but Schleissner steals the inbound pass, takes it quickly down the floor, gets to Meredith, three-pointer on the way, and nothing but net that time.
Good kick out by Schleissner over to Meredith for 3.
9 points for Camry Meredith tonight. Thompson with it for Mondovi. Some hesitation dribble, takes it down to the baseline, kicks it back out to Johnson. Johnson over to Hulke. Hulke with a 3-0. And chased down finally by Steinke for the Vikings. Gets it to Schleissner. Schleissner takes it into the lane. Feeds it out to Charlo. Three-pointer on the way. No. Rebound knocked out of the way by Meredith. She picks it up. Cross-court pass to Bovey. Bovey drives the baseline, and we have a whistle and a pushing foul being called. I believe the foul is going to be on Hulke. Yes, that's who they call it on. That's the 4th team foul on Mondovi. It's only the 2nd personal on Hulke. Into the lineup for Mondovi is Berg. Thompson takes a rest. Meredith inbound it. She gets it into Schleissner. Over to Bovey. Meredith in the lane. Turnaround jumper. No, off the back of the iron. Meredith bats it out to Schleissner, who feeds it out to Bovey. Puts up a shot. No good. Rebound chased down by Mondovi. Quickly down the floor is Berg. Out to Hulke. To Paschal. To Feedy, who drives the lane, puts it up. We have a whistle. And I believe the foul's on Steinke. It is. It's her first personal. 7th team foul. But it was a shooting foul, so Feedy's at the line for 2. First shot is up. Off the iron, no good. And her second shot is on its way and in. 55-26, Vikings on top, 7:20 to go in the game. Schleissner down the floor, across the timeline. Now she's looking for somewhere to go, gets it to Steinke, high, wide, and left. Steinke drives down to the left baseline, kicks it back out to Schleissner. Schleissner at the free throw line. Feeds it over to the right side to Bovey. Into the lane, cutting through the lane was Meredith, who lays it up and in.
Good cut by Camry Meredith down the paint for 2.
Just flashing open, and Bovey hit her. 57-26, Vikings on top. Berg with it in the lane, tries to get the pass out, but it's intercepted by Meredith. Meredith taking it the length of the court, stops, puts up a jumper, no. Rebound. Schleissner Charlo tried to put it up, but she got fouled from behind, so she'll be shooting 2. And that foul was on Berg. That's her first personal, 5th team foul. First shot by Charlo is good. We have too many players that start with S's for their last name. Charlo's second shot is on the way, around and in. 59-26. 6:36 to go. Clark with it. Feeds it over to Johnson on the left. Back out to Clark at the top of the key. She's on the dribble. Bounces it off her leg. Ball goes over the timeline. Schleissner batted it, and we have a whistle. And I think they got Schleissner with a foul. That's her second personal. It's the 8th team foul. So Clark will be at the line with the 1-and-1 for Mondovi. Her first shot is on the way. No good. Rebound taken down by Charlo. Charlo to Schleissner. Schleissner quickly down the floor. Through the circle. Gets it over to Charlo. Free throw line extended left. Takes it towards the lane. Feeds it into the lane to Meredith, who dribbles it back out of the lane on the left side. Cross-court pass over to Bovey. Bovey takes it to the top of the key. Now down to the right side to Charlo. And we have a whistle, and they say Charlo traveled with it. And we have a hockey line change going on for the Vikings. 5 in, 5 out.
Yep, shift change.
Olsen, Wilson, Irwin, and Barstead. Clark brings it down the floor for the Buffaloes. Picked up there by Addy. Over to the right side to Paschal. Down low to Feedy. Out to Berg, still on the right. Over to Paschal. To Johnson. To Paschal. On the left side now to Clark. Clark drives towards the lane. Stops, puts it up. No, off the iron. Ball's chased down by Addison. Addison down the floor with it. Does not put on the brakes. Keeps on going. Tries to get it across to Addy. The pass is intercepted by Feedy, and she takes it the length of the floor and puts it in. Abby Feedy with the interception and the pick six, you might say. Addy gets it. Feeds it across the timeline to Barstead. Addy out in the center circle. Gets it to Wilson at the top of the key. To Irwin on high, wide, and left. To Barstead in the lane. Out to Wilson. Wilson on the right tries to get it to Barstead. Ball gets tapped out of bounds by Paschal. Off the Buffaloes, and the Vikings will inbound. Irwin to inbound it to Addy. Addy feeds it over to Barstead. Barstead to Addison on the left side. Back out to Barstead. Barstead takes it down to the left baseline. Now drives towards the lane. Puts it up and it goes in. 61-28, Vikings on top. 4:20 to go. Clark with it. Cross-court pass to Johnson on the left side. Back out high to Clark for the Buffalo. Over to Johnson again on the left. High, wide, and left. To Berg. Out to Paschal. Back down to Berg in that left corner. Berg drives to the lane. Feeds it to Paschal, standing in the lane. Tries to go somewhere with it. We have a whistle and a travel. The Vikings are getting a hand on the ball, which is throwing the Buffaloes off stride, and that's how they're drawing those traveling calls. Barstead inbounds it to Addy. Back to Barstead. Across the timeline. Feeds it out to Irwin. To Addy between the circles. To Irwin on the right. Feeds it into Barstead. Out to Wilson. Back out to Irwin. To Addison. To Wilson. To Addy. To Barstead. To Irwin on the left. Drives the left baseline. Feeds it across to Addy. Addy puts it up and no, but we have a foul being called, and the foul is going to be on Feedy. And they're saying that was only a 2-point shot that Addy put up. I thought she was outside the arc, but she's only getting 2. Her first one's on the way and good. And we have wholesale changes for the Vikings again. Some of the younger players coming in off the bench with 3:12 to go. Addy's second shot on the way, and it's good. 63-28. Jillian Bovey is in for the Vikings. Jasmine Paulus. Abby Irwin is in. Hulke with the ball in the lane for Mondovi, and she gets called for a travel as she turned around, tried to make a pass, dragged the pivot foot when she did. And Abby Irwin to inbound it for the Vikings. Ball gets inbounded to Jasmine Best. Back to Irwin. This is Abby. Over to Jasmine between the circles. Feeds it to Harmon. Harmon tries to feed into the lane, and the ball goes out of bounds off of Clark, and so it's going to be Vikings ball under their own basket. Best to inbound it for the Vikings. Feeds it to Harmon in the lane. Harmon puts a shot up and in. Marissa Harmon with her 7th point of the night. Thompson with it from Mondovi. Over to Clark on the left side. She drives into the lane, stops, puts it up. No, we have a whistle and a foul being called. I think it's on Best. I can't see what numbers he put up, so we'll have to wait for it to come up on the scoreboard. And they're not putting it up. I do think it was on Jasmine Best myself. First shot by Clark is no good. Second shot on the way, and it also rolls off. And the Vikings will have it out of bounds. Abby Irwin to inbound it, gets it to Best. Best brings it down the floor. Hesitation dribble. Gets it over to Harmon. Harmon cross court pass to Paulus. Back out to Harmon at the top of the key. To Irwin. To Best down low. Gets it out to Paulus at the free throw line. Ball gets knocked away. Chases it down. Gets it over to Jillian Bovey. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds off of Mondovi. Vikings will have it. Minute 55 to go in this one. Vikings on top, 65-28.
Good defense by Mondovi right now to keep Colfax out of the paint.
Irwin inbounds it. Out to Best. Long shot by Harmon, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds off of Paulus, and it's going to be Buffalo ball. Clark to inbound it. Gets it to Thompson. Thompson across the timeline. Feeds it to Evenson. To Berg. Over to Clark. To Thompson from the top of the key, and she hit the three-pointer. 65-31. Bovey with it. That's Jillian Bovey. Feeds it across the timeline to Best. It comes down to the corner to Harmon. Harmon out to Bovey. Paulus with it. Tries to get it to Best between the circles, and the pass gets intercepted by Hulke. She tries to put the shot up. Can't hang on to it. Or the shot got partially blocked is what happened by Best. Goes out of bounds. And so Mondovi will maintain possession, assuming they can find the ball that rolled out into the hallway.
Good job by Colfax to get back.
Oh, here they come. We were missing a player and a ball. And a referee. Thompson with it. Inbounds, and we have a whistle. Inbound pass was knocked out of bounds, actually, by Bovey. Long inbound pass goes out to Johnson for Mondovi. She drives into the lane, puts it up, and it goes in. Under a minute to go. 65-33, Vikings on top. Feed over to Best on the left side, out between the circles to Harmon. Harmon to Irwin. Out to Paulus between the circles. To Bovey. Bovey drives to the right side, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Mondovi. About 30 seconds to go. Thompson feeds it over to Johnson on the left side. To Berg at the top of the key. Over on the right side to Thompson. Thompson tries to get it down to Netzelman. Back out to Evenson, to Netzelman. Feeds it to Johnson. To Berg, drives to the free throw line. Kicks it back out to Johnson. Johnson drives into the lane, and there's the buzzer, and that'll put an end to it. Final score, Colfax Vikings 65 and the Mondovi Buffaloes 33. And we'll be back with Viking postgame right after this timeout. You're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or
We've
is
got
your
3 more to
kitty's
go, so we're going to go
constitution
another one here. Dairy
constantly
State
complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
As you check names off your holiday gift-giving list, Dairy State Bank encourages you to go local. When you support locally owned and operated businesses, every dollar you spend returns threefold to your local economy, putting your hard-earned money to work in the community you call home. So this holiday season, consider gifting locally crafted goods or an experience at a local eatery, craft beverage maker, or a performance with family and friends. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
You've been listening to Colfax Viking Basketball, live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network in conjunction with Colfax High School. Stay tuned, coming up next is Viking Postgame with a look back at today's game.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What, did he balance on that big chair? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back out here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings have just knocked off the Mondovi Buffaloes by a score of 65-13. And fans, this reminder that Colfax Viking basketball is brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. The Colfax Animal Hospital, trust your pets to Dr. Buckley and his staff. Morgan's Auto Body, where after an oh-no moment, they can make your car right again. The Colfax Messenger, for over 120 years, keeping you informed about what's happening in the Colfax area. Colfax Hometown Pharmacy, their family caring for your family. And Kyle's Market, where customer service is supersized. Be sure to thank these sponsors of Colfax Viking basketball right here on the Northern Light Network, Northern Light Webcasting Network. And we are joined right now by Coach Doucette. And Coach,
yeah.
Congratulations, 65-33. You're 4-0 in the Dun St. Croix.
Yeah, feels good, Rick. Feels good.
Now, it wasn't exactly the sharpest of games, because you were right. Mondovi goes and gets it. And
they do.
There were a lot of blue uniformed arms in the way of a lot of passes.
Yeah. You know what? We didn't get off to a very good start. That first group has been very good for us. Just, couldn't quite get anything going, so I thought that second group really sparked us, got us going, got us on the scoreboard. And, I thought the second half we were very good. I thought move the ball better, a few more good passes, Rick, and I liked the way we played second half.
And that reminded me when you went with the 5 in, 5 out. It reminded a number of years ago you did that. You called them the posse.
Yep.
And that's really what it reminded me of. And here comes the posse. And sure enough, tonight they kind of came to the rescue.
Yep. Kelly Gust and I think Lauren Mulvey was on that crew. They had a nice 5. That was good. Yeah,
Emma Frederick Schechter was in that crew.
Jessica Anderson, and
that was an interesting bunch of kids.
Yeah,
too.
nice kids. But no, Rick, we said we have a lot of good kids, and and we definitely, the kids were playing, the Camrys and the Rachels are tougher than heck, but some nights they just need a little jump start and stuff. So, I think one of our biggest strengths is the fact that our 10th kid is every bit as good as yours, maybe better. So, at times we got to take advantage of that.
Well, yeah, in some cases you have a very strong bench.
Yep.
You could almost field 2 varsity teams with the kids that you have.
I agree.
And it shows. You're 4-0 in the Dun St. Croix, and now you get a little time off and get to recoup, get some injuries healed up a little bit.
No, we're excited, Rick. But to a person, I don't think anyone thinks we're even close to what we could do. I think, you've seen shades from everybody. We haven't got everybody on the same wavelength on any single night, so we have a lot of things to work for, and we're excited. I think if we can, our chemistry and our togetherness keep coming, I think we could be pretty good. But, until that happens, we're going to be streaky. And that mental part is the key to being consistent, and I think it's in us. We just got to find it.
Well, that sounds like a New Year's resolution to me if I ever heard one. Well, on January 2nd next year, we've got Lady Smith coming into town, and
they're playing well. Well.
So that'll be a good test coming out of the holidays for these girls, and make sure they're ready to make that run down the road at the end of it all.
You bet, Rick.
Well, congratulations, 65-33, 4-0 in the Dun St. Croix. And thank you to Coach Doucette for coming up and talking with us. And we're going to have some more Viking post-game right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In addition to being your hometown newspaper, the Colfax Messenger is also your one-stop shop for all your printing needs. The Messenger provides full in-house design and full-color printing services for copies, business cards, letterheads, envelopes, pamphlets, brochures, books. They can even do posters up to 13 by 30 inches for your events or benefits. Call the Colfax Messenger at 715-265-4646 or visit dewitmedia.com.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. And Dan, do you have some numbers for us?
Yeah, here's the leading scorers tonight for Colfax. We had Taylor Irwin and Cameron Meredith had 11 points. We had Seville Wilson with 5. We had Maddie Barstead with 4. We had Addie Olson with 5. We had Addison Olson with 4. We had Josie Stanky with 3. Jana Bovey with 2. And Morgan Schleisner with 1. It was a team effort for Colfax tonight. Mondovi's leading scorer tonight was number 23, Catherine Thompson. We had Abby Johnson, Abby Feedy, and Josie Hulke with 5 points. Ella Paschal had 4, and Morgan Clark and Caitlin Berg had 2 points.
Okay, so it all boils down to 65-33 for the Vikings. Like Coach said, they really haven't hit their stride for what they're capable of doing, but boy, oh boy, at least they found the hole tonight, because they put up a whole lot more points than they did up in Hayward, where they doubled their points, more than doubled their points from Hayward from Monday night. So that's a good sign. Now if they can clean up some of those passes and continue to play the tough, stingy defense that they're playing, the Vikings could make some interesting things happen.
Yep, Colfax has to keep the turnovers down, hit their inside shots. That'll open up the outside shots, and they should be okay.
It's got to be a good feeling for Coach Doucette to have so much confidence in that next group of kids coming in off the bench, that they really don't drop down much when that next group of kids comes in off the bench. And normally if you see a team clear the bench like that, okay, we can relax a little bit. They can't against these kids, and he knows that, and he knows he can keep the pressure up.
Yeah, and Colfax has 2 good girls right now with Cameron Meredith and Rachel Charlo to kind of teach these young kids up, and they're really good at just sliding right in and filling in the spots.
Well, this reminder that the Viking girls are going to get back into action following the holidays when they host Ladysmith on Thursday, January 2nd. JV begins at 5:45 and the varsity is at 7:15. Of course, we'll have all the varsity action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Viking boys, let's not forget about them. They will travel to Elmwood to take on Plum City Elmwood Wolves tomorrow night, and the JV begins at 5:45. The varsity is at 7:15. We won't be at that one, but they'd sure like to see you guys get over there and support them. And then don't forget the annual holiday vacation for the Colfax School District starts this Saturday. There will be no school in Colfax from Saturday through Wednesday, January 1st. And then don't forget to tune in to our holiday special. In fact, we're going to hear about that in just a minute. So I'll tell you what, Dan, we can put our feet up for a little bit because we don't have another game we have to do until January 2nd.
Yeah, have a little Christmas supper and open a few presents.
And
hopefully
Dan,
that was good enough this year.
Dan, you have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
To kind of keep it on the down low side and everything will be fine, and we'll get back here and do some more of this on January 2nd. Final score once again, Vikings 65 and the Mondovi Buffaloes 33. For Dan Petchow, this is Rick Olson. Have yourself a really Merry Christmas. Good night, everyone.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network has a special Christmas treat for our listeners. We are going to present our holiday special on Monday, December 23rd and Tuesday, December 24th. Starting at noon on each day, we'll present a triple header of Colfax Vikings games. We'll have football, girls basketball, and boys basketball with a lot of holiday music throughout. Tune your listening device to www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com to listen to our holiday special beginning at noon on December 23rd and 24th, and have a very happy holiday season.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Northern Light Webcasting Network is proud to present Colfax Viking basketball for the 2019-2020 season. Join us as the Viking girls tip off the new year when they host Ladysmith on Thursday, January 2nd. Viking pregame begins at 7 o'clock and live play-by-play begins at 7:10 right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.